Hi, good day guys, it's Nicolas from Fou de Couleur. Welcome back to video tutorial number 2 or chapter 2 of our watercoloring tutorial of Heather Valentin's book Illuminations. As you can see, it's a stunning book, and I've been enjoying it so much. All right, today we're going to go. Our images have been nice and dry now since for a few days now, so we're going to work in some other colors into our dress, into the steps over here, and in the background maybe some leaves. We're just going to take it how it comes. Okay, all right. Some guys have asked me about the Tomboy. I know somebody have asked me about the Tomboy markers that's got the real brush nips, or the closest to the Zek markers. I know you also get the Arteza brush markers. They're also very similar to that. I've also got some budget ones here, which is very similar to them as well. I haven't got a real brush nib though. It's more synthetic nib, but yeah. The closest I've got to them is the Zek markers. And what we're going to do is we're going to take I've taken some yellow and I've applied it to my plate here by doing this. And I'm not really needing a lot of yellow because I just want like a little bit of yellow for her skin, because I always put a little bit of yellow in the skin tones. Now what I've done is I've taken fresh aqua brush and I'm watering down my color quite a lot, and then at the back here I just literally give it a light coating. It's so light you can hardly see it, but it's there. And just always make sure that you've got your paper towel handy already, just to dab it dry and remove excess water. Now you see I've got quite a lot of yellow still left on my plates, and my yellow's faded a little bit there in the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my yellow that I've got remaining on my plate. You guys should know, I like to use all the color on my plates. I try to use and I will not waste yellow. So I'm just taking my yellow again, and over the areas which you've already colored, just freshening it up with a fresh layer of yellow. Unfortunately, some of these markers don't have the light fastness, or they don't last as long as the real watercoloring paint. But for your watercoloring books or pages, they are quite sufficient enough. And for those who are learning, it's an excellent tool to learn with, because you don't use your expensive watercolor, you don't need your expensive tools, and you can go ahead and experiment with watercolors until your heart's content. Just dampening her dry again. There you go. We're going to work on the background a bit again later on. You're constantly going to come back to the background, but as your picture evolves or gets more and more color to it, we're going to get back to it. Now I'm just allowing the pink to dry nicely. Put my plates over there, and I'm going to get back to Gabriella. This is Gabriella. No, yeah, Gabriella. Sorry, Gabby. All right. This was the last image we've done last time, so left it as it is, and I've just chopped off my color. I'm going to take some yellow again that I've left on my plate for the skin tones, and I'm going to do exactly the same with her. Just that little bit of yellow. It's so slight, you guys are hardly going to see it. Remember to water it down quite a lot so that there's hardly any yellow. You don't want any yellow skin or nasty yellow skin showing, but this is some yellow in the skin tone. So I'm just bringing it down between the hair, her arms, and then I'm going to take the rest of my yellow and I'm just going to rework it into the background where I would like to lighten it up a bit. Like over here. Remember, the more water you're going to add to your watercolor as well, the more it's going to water out, and the color is going to fade. So try not to add too much water to it, especially with your markers. I mean, if you guys are looking at a more brighter, you will see some of my images are bright and they're almost alive. I use a different kind. I use the Mungo series, and they are these series, and you can see they are a whole different ball game. I mean, but you get these when you're a bit more experienced with watercolors. Otherwise, you can use what I've discovered was at my local stationery shop, the Adele watercoloring set, which I'm quite impressed by, I must say. They the colors are quite bright, and they blend nicely with my image. And so yeah, let's go over to them. And so it's your normal battered watercoloring cakes that you get from your local stationery shop. I suppose it's for kids watercoloring paint. So as you can see, I've used a bit of mine. What I normally do is I just give mine a slight mist beforehand, just to wet the cakes. It helps to transfer the colors. And then I still have my plates handy, but I can just put them on my plate, so I can next to you as you feel comfortable. I'd rather put my plate there. Okay. We want to do, next step we're going to do is do her skin tones. Now, to get the perfect skin tone is I take a little bit of my yellow, I transfer the color to like, just get some color onto your water brush like this, and then squeeze the color onto the tray area. If you've got a little palette, you can do it onto a little palette. I do mine just on this container of this the set, and then I just wipe it dry. And I'll take some orange, some brown, and I will take some pink. It's a bit too orangey for me. Always have some water, clean water handy, so that you can just rinse your aqua brush in case you've got too much of one color. I'll take some of my white. I was quite impressed with the white of this watercoloring cake, or of Adele. I mean, look, you can see it's watered down quite a lot. Now I've mixed my skin tone, which I will think will look great on her so far. So it was a bit of orange, a bit of brown, a bit of yellow, and some white. And let's see how this comes out. This unfortunately is like a trial and error, and you'll have to do trial and error. If it's an error, you can always test it. And I normally just test it like that. But if you're a bit unsure, just test it on a piece of paper, and until you feel you've got the right tones. Unfortunately, I'm not so clued up to tell you exactly what to mix with for skin tones. It's normally the colors that I would use in my pencils for to get a skin tone. And now I'm just going to go over that yellow. Now I'm quite happy with that skin tone for the moment. Her hair's in the way there, so not a lot of skin there too. Luckily, we don't have a lot of skin. Thank you, Heather. Because skin tone watercoloring is always can become quite a problem. All right, so now we just want to take a fresh piece of paper and we want to just dab it dry. Okay, as you can see, it's already a nice skin tone. I'm just going to hold it up to the camera a bit better so you guys can see. It's not bad. Okay, so let's go on to back to Alicia, and we're going to do her back and her arm. Okay, so we still got the color on our little tray here that we've mixed, and we're going to see now in the bigger space how that color transfers. That's all right. There we go. She's got a nice, like a tan line. We always can give it a second layer at a later stage if we see how it dries. But because there's not a lot of skin exposed, you don't really have to go much darker than that, I would say. Let's see how she dries. Okay. There you go. So I'm happy with her so far. Okay, now let's get back to Gabby. Now from my same watercoloring tray or cake set from the Adele range, I'm going to take my brown, a bit darker brown. I'm just going to take the color and I'm just going to... And here with the swing is with this wood, to just follow your instincts and just color what color you think the wood should be. You can color the red swing, you can color it, but I'm going to make the wood look like wood. And I've just taken it and I dipped it in the brown, and I'm just applying the color with my water brush or aqua brush onto it. Depends on how accurate you want to be. If you want to be it look like more of a masterpiece, you're obviously going to pay a lot more attention to the detail and make it look like a real piece of wood. Otherwise, if you're just like a freelance artist and you just want to give it a quick contemporary look, I will say, or a freehand look, and just dab it dry. That's why I always work on more than one image, because if I have to wait for this to dry and move on to the next color, it will drive me insane. All right, we've got a choice. We can either we can go onto a hair now. You guys must just excuse me. Because we are pressed for time. I'm trying not to make the video tutorials too long. So I'm just going to move on to the hair, and I want to give it a nice. I like to do girls with orange hair. I don't know. Gingers just kind of like do it for me. um, in my coloring board. So I've taken literally my orange and just going to see what color is like. And I'm just going to take a slight little bit of red and I'm going to mix it in with that just to get a nice richer orange look. Again, testing with nice. It's like a sunset. From your aqua brush, just transfer it into her hair. Now if you want to go multi-tones, you can give it just one layer first. And by multi-tone, you will see what I mean now. We'll do a multi-tone hairstyle for her. An area here. Just working your color for her hair. I always say work with quite a fine aqua brush. You will see my nip is quite fine, and so I can really get into the corners. If you don't have one, you can just gently, I mean, you hardly glide your brush over just to work it into those little tight little ends of her hair. Remember, we're going to give it a second coat, so don't worry about the little flowers in your head. Try not to cover them at the moment, but if you do have a little bit of color there, you can just dab it with your watercoloring, and then you can just watercoloring. This kind of watercoloring is very forgiving, so if you go over the lines or whatever, it's not a train smash. You guys can fix it. Okay, it can be fixed, and it's not going to be noticed that quickly. Just taking a bit of my orange, directing more of my orange. You're just going to feel that it's too light, and I'm reworking just a plain orange color into her hair. All right, we can come back to it once it's dry. Don't dab. I'm not going to dab it this time because I would like the color to stay as it is. So I'm going to go back to Alicia, and we can do her bola. Now I'm not going to do a ginger in her. I'm going to do a brown color in her. So I'm just going to take my normal brown. Oh no, wait. Let's do something exciting. Let's do. Let me just clean my aqua brush there. My water. I always make use of aqua brush cleaner or a brush cleaner. Just a lid in my water, and it cleans my aqua brush quite nicely. Otherwise, they just get weathered and they get clogged up. All right, so I'm going to be adventurous, and I'm going to go back to my Lyra, my plate, where I'm going to apply the Fabrilo from Caran d'Ache. They're nice because the colors last. That's the nice thing about Caran d'Ache. I like the Caran d'Ache Fabrilo markers. It's like a grey blue color, and I'm just gonna transfer a bit of this on my plate. It's very light, but once it's on the hair, you guys are going to see it's quite lovely. With my aqua brush. Oops. Squeeze my aqua brush just to make sure there's enough water. You can do it. Here you can see the color. And we're going to give her hair like a silver. It's like a silver, but it's a blue silver. It's quite a stunning color. And I like to be adventurous with my watercolors. I like to be out there. Because humans don't have blue hair, doesn't mean that you cannot have blue hair in your watercoloring or your pictures or your images. It's where your imagination wants to take you. Now, again, there's some color left. I'm not going to waste it, so I'm just going to take the color and rework it over the grays areas and some areas where I think I might just need a little bit of, like I explained to you guys, we're going to get back to the background quite a lot. Now I'm happy with that. I'm not going to dab it dry at the moment because I feel I don't want to get mix or worry with mess around too much with the color of the hair. As you can see, it's a nice like silvery color. We're still going to get back to it, and we're going to do a second layer. Okay, so you could have left that piece on your plate, but let's just go on. All right, what we're going to do now is I think we should do the steps. Now this is going to be totally up to you, and personal taste, how you want to do this. I would like to make the steps like a stony, earthy kind of look. So it's to show its steps, or you can make it look like marble. It's up to you, and it depends on your type of skills. I'm not that experienced, so I'm just going to go for a brown. What we can do is we can let me show you. So we're just going to basically work the color into our, this is quite a strong brown. I'm working with my cakes again, Adele cakes, my budget line cakes. And just work it where the steps is. Now again, like I said, it depends on your level of skill, how far you want to take that. As you can see, the pigment goes quite a lot far away. If I'm going to dab it dry now with my paper towel, it's going to take away a lot of the color, so I'm not going to do it. But my water is not running over the page, and it's not like we're going to use layers and layers and layers of that. Now, what you can do is you can leave one of the steps there out and just go in at the floor space. What a good trick is, look where the steps is running. I mean, they can run like at an angle. So take your brush and go according to the line of the steps. Then you will have it will create a nicer look. There we go. Just be careful around her dress. Rather go a bit away from the dress. and work it slowly, not like me now, fast. But now you would have a feel for your aqua brush as well, and you would know how they work and how much water to apply. The more you squeeze or you hold it, you're going to get water out. You're squeezing water at the end. You're going to get more water on your page as well. And then you're going to obviously use more paper. Now just to get a more even, my steps here at the bottom. That's why it's also nice to do the masking tape at the ends, because now you don't have to be worried about following a line here at the bottom or on sides, because it will give you a nice clean line, so you can see once we're finished with it. Okay, and the top step. Again, be careful of your dress there. Now, just for a contrast, you can leave that one step, like the bottom section of the step. You can just leave it out there, as you did with this one over here. And I'll show you guys what we're going to do there now, just to give it a bit of a contrast, or just to have a bit of a different look, make it more interesting. It doesn't all have to be exactly the same color. I mean, you're taking from a cake, so I mean, if you don't mix it beforehand, your color, you're gonna get different tones onto it. And so you can create some nice shading with watercolors, which is nice. And again, leaving that bottom step open. Combined head raise, and then a little bit that's open here at the top and bottom, just to give it a nice, apply some more water, just to even the color out a bit more. Remember, if you want to even it out, you will have to go in with your water brush quite soon after you've applied the color, because you don't want it to dry too much. And then you can just even it out quite nicely. And then you're not going to have so many brush lines. But what is a watercolor without brush lines? I mean, okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a bit of green. And I'm going to, again, from my normal budget range, I'm going to take a little bit of green, and I'm going to work it into that step. And I'm doing it while the brown paint is still wet, just to, because the colors, I don't mind if the colors mix with each other or if they bleed in, it's what you want. It's just to you can even hear where the cracks is. Just go over with a bit of green, create like a nice effect. Now, in this watercoloring cake, I've got a caramel color, which I'm also going to use. Don't have a caramel color, you can just take a bit of orange and just water it down, or a bit of yellow and over the blue. I'm doing this quite, as you can see, I'm not really doing a lot of dabbing at the moment because I want my colors to mix. And like I said, don't be scared to try new things. And bit of caramel again, just on that top step. Because this is also where the lantern is, which is carrying her little lantern, so you want a bit of light there. So the effect of light is just to go a bit yellowy. I'm going to go with my caramel color. Careful, don't color over the lantern because we want the effect of light to come out of it, like we've already done around it. So even here at the end you can use just some of the step over here. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. You can just work your steps down into a nice even so it flows all nicely. Okay, I'm not going to dab it dry, I'm going to let it dry. So we're going to put Alicia aside.